Good evening, everyone. I hope you all are well awake now after the coffee shots. So I'll start with particularly on ARA, Automated Roaming Assist. Okay, so to give a brief about what a automated roaming assist is or why we require this. Now, what we heard today from all the guests and in the past 2 days, it's mostly related to operators as well as related to how you can increase revenues, decrease your gaps in terms of whether it's revenue streams. But what we are here today is to discuss about how you can treat the customer experience in a better way, right? Because at the end goal, whether it's from a vendor's perspective or from an operator's perspective, it should be a customer's experience, because more the customers are going to like you, the more wholesale, retail, any kind of revenue they're going to increase, right? So let's look at telco's roaming investment on infra and solutions, right? So this are, you can say, a complete pie where all customers, now there are no longer any green fields. They might be using solutions from standard providers. So everyone focuses on analytics tool to identify errors and QoS, QoE. There's a very heavy investment on resourcing right now, whether it's for testing, whether it's for service operations, whether it's for normal VAS operations, like, people are getting messages, the steering is working fine, and every service is working well. Some operators have extended this to customer value management or retail campaigns in terms of focusing on package sales. What packs you want to do, what packs you want to launch, how your outbound looks like, how you want to create a bundle on the fly, for example, right? You want to mix match bundles, give them for increasing again roaming revenues and uptakes. And then there is this, the last one is the next gen CVM, or you can also call it as the IPX, where you have solutions managing the entire thresholds, your bill shocks, increase. Again, the focus is same, to increase roaming revenue, to increase footprints. So nothing bad about it, right? Whenever you speak about customer experience management, it is particularly, the idea first comes to mind is, I was using SMS today. I would like to move on to other channels. I want to communicate better. But what do you do when you communicate with such customers? The first and the foremost of the channel usage is you start promoting your product and packs for that particular country or wherever the operator or whatever you have designed. The second part is you use it for your marketing and branding, right? In terms of your welcome SMSs, then you have your RTA, like this is the tariff you will get. So all of this exercise is something which you do. You also promote, like, now on roaming, you can use Volti or you can use a 5G experience as just as an example. The other part for this channel usage is service quality metrics. You want to check what is happening, how effectively people are using what channels, and how we can target them. Then you have your anti-bill shocks and your call-based support models, right? In case there is a customer problem, so you might call a customer using one of these channels. So again, the pros are here, right? The focus of operators right now is it only starts this process, whether it's any of the customer value management, is when a customer latches on to a roaming network, right? You need a customer to register somewhere for you to start all of your investments and build your QoE, QoS, selling of packs, products for roaming managers. And this mostly covers the monetization part as a whole in terms of customer experience management, and it tries to cover only 10 to 15% of roamer. So this subscriber is the one who is buying frequent packs from you, or your HVC as a segment, is the only one who knows how to use roaming. For first-time roamers, right? So the country where I am from, if you check a flight that is either coming to UK, Portugal, Middle East, anywhere, 80% of the travelers are first-time users, right? They've never used roaming in their life. They've never heard about, I need to buy a separate pack for roaming. So in most part, right, 15% is your cream, as we call it, where you have all your corporates, CUG users using those areas. And then you have the remaining population, which contributes to your 85%. Now the cons for it, right? Let's speak about what this solution doesn't give you. It doesn't give you a complete base and beyond, right? It doesn't serve one-to-one customer. It is only for specific customers that you are targeting, that like these are my top spenders, and that is where you focus on. And you miss 85% of your subscribers which can also contribute to revenues, right? They might face issues. You never know in roaming, like, a customer today on a single trip might generate a $300 revenue. Second time, he might not even spend a single dollar. He might use a multi-SIM, he might use a local SIM or something of that sort. So again, so the cons of a customer experience management is still the focus is revenue and sales, right? Coming on to common challenges, right? So let's come back to, so let's consider Dave over here. So Dave, again, this is something of avatar that we have used. This is not anything and, strictly for illustrative purpose. So Dave over here right now faces this common issues, right? The basic issue everyone faces in roaming is unable to latch on to network. Okay. The second thing is he's unable to make voice calls. Third is his handset blocks on roaming, right? He doesn't know he has to go to his settings of a Samsung or iPhone, and he has to enable a VoLTE roaming or he has to enable roaming. The fourth part is not able, he has registered, everything is fine, he is not able to browse data. And the most common one, no roaming packs enabled. And then it again leads to the common outcomes and issues. First is roaming service churn, negative customer experience, your NPS decreases, and people buy local SIMs. So the last part on the local SIM, even if you look at Apple's support.apple.com and check how should I use roaming. So the fourth point they have mentioned is first you buy it from your carrier, check. Second part is how you enable those services, and the third part they've written is go and buy a local SIM. So when people look at such kind of inputs that are provided, so they are often attracted to getting that, because Apple clearly lists saying the usage of roaming is very high volume and value, and it comes with a higher cost. So go for buying a local SIM. Okay. Now, how these issues are handled, right? So I listed out you 5 to 6 common issues. So the common issue that you see, how Dave is going to tackle all of this is coming up to the 95% of your out roamers, the general roamers, right? Either he'll go through customer care or he'll go to family and friends. Okay. Once he does that is where he tries to find a resolution, right? He'll go through the standard channels. Now, if Dave, for example, is a dear friend of, say, Mr. Mohammed, and he just drops him a message saying, Habibi, roaming mushkila. That message is being picked by Mohammed. He'll send that to his team saying, guys, VIP, what is this issue? So as soon as that happens, right, if you consider the escalation matrix, for a general person to raise an issue in roaming, the ticket severity is always a S3 ticket. Yeah, he's complaining, it's a S3 ticket. As soon as it's a wife of a CEO or the CEO himself who doesn't get roaming as a service, then it's a top priority S1 ticket. Everyone gets on a call, Teams call, whatever call. And you will see all vendors who are not even have their SLAs, they'll also come on those calls and they will solve it immediately. So at this stage, how are issues navigated? So 5% of your VIPs are solving the issues for 95% of your customers. It is how we are focused on, because it's reactive. Only after an issue has occurred is when we start to tackle it and we start to notice like this is not happening right now. This was happening basically since a month or a 20 days. Someone did a wrong configuration somewhere and this has blacked out an entire region. We didn't care about it till a VIP traveled. Okay. So what ARA brings in? So ARA particularly, as we call it as an automatic roaming assist. And the idea behind ARA was very simple. If you consider Netflix, right? All of you use Netflix right now. Everyone has either a family account or some kind of account. How often have you called Netflix's customer support? You never call it, right? The error appears, you have connected to a VPN, you have not done your bill payment. It is very simple written information that you know what action you are supposed to take. You don't call the customer care saying, I changed country, why you are saying this, and you don't spend a 30, 40 minutes discussion with them. So that is where we brought in this idea from. And again, ARA finds these issues in the networks, right? That is why it is called as automated roaming assist. It will find all the latch-on issues, voice call issues, so service-related, network-related, roaming packs-related, and ARA, the function, what it will do is it will communicate to a customer. Just as an example, right? I landed in Portuguese or Lisbon, say, 2 days back. All of a sudden, I don't know how, but I use a Dubai SIM. My language has changed to Arabic. So I got a RTA message which is completely in Arabic saying these are the call rates, this is, which I had to convert. Now I want to change that, but the way it works is on a shortcode, on a SMS, and if I want to do it, I tried it 3 times, I failed. Again, it is set to Arabic as default. Okay, so what ARA brings in is, rather than customer coming to you, you start to give them information. So a customer, for example, doesn't understand how a steering works, right? For me, if I'm not in a telco or not even in a roaming world, I don't understand what is steering. I try to go to a network, I try to latch on, it says manual mode, error, error, error. It's a forbidden network which is set by the home operator. Okay, so in that sense, how ARA will support? So ARA again uses all the channels that are available to it. So if there is a self-care app, then what we do is we push in a notification because the customer has never latched on. He doesn't have network. So as soon as he gets internet on the self-care app, he gets like you should select this network for experiencing seamless service. So this is the kind of communication that we are targeting. Again, this is for Dave to make him happy proactively to solve his problems which are happening at network level. Second is what the operators get out of it, right? So your customer care gets access to the UI. Every subscriber, wherever he was roaming, you can get the entire history, all errors, how many times your steering tool has not allowed him to do a latch on, how many times there was a pack related or a service related issue, everything gets recorded. And this also goes to your account managers who are handling huge corporate accounts with, say, key customers. And they get notifications in real time, right? So for example, a CEO traveling somewhere, roaming head, head of operations, CTO, everyone gets a message. He tried to latch on to this network. Over here, he received so many errors. So it can be system failure, it can be roaming not allowed, all the standard errors which gets recorded. So this is something which everyone gets information proactively. And at the end of it, all this, what is being encountered as a knowledge base, gets created for the operations team. So operations teams will have the entire repository of issues that has been tackled, that has happened, what is communicated, and they get every information on this. Okay, so how ARA works, this is just a simplistic diagram, not to overcomplicate things. ARA works on any network probe that allows to provide this data. So Telcovas, probably our focus since 2016 is to use everything open source, right? We don't push our customers to buy something which is licensed, right? We built everything on open source, open stack platforms. And even in this case for ARA, for example, we have our own network probes that we bring in. On the other side of it, if operator says, see, I already did an investment in network probes. I don't want one probe to solve one problem and a second probe just to send message. Use whatever is existing, fine. So we are modular in that sense. We use that as the input or information. And particularly what we do is we translate all the standard telecom errors into notification, insights, repositories, FAQs. So you get everything which you desire from your operations team to give you on a honest feedback saying what was the problem, which, if the MS is handled by a third-party vendor, they often hide or they might not even reach that conclusion of what kind of report is expected. Okay, so this is on a high-level error coverage which we have extracted so far. So this is not, done something which is done in a single day. We currently run 50+ operations remotely through our MS. Roaming is almost 30%, 45% out of it. We run a very big roaming MS for one of our customers in Africa across 17 countries. And all these errors is something which were populated, and that is how we have created our knowledge base in terms of handling signaling errors, subscription errors, right? People buying packs, catching a flight. They don't get a message saying the pack was subscribed, they think it is done, and they often complain about bill shocks. So all of this is something which we bring in terms of the extracurriculars that is advantage for the operations team and also for the end customer. Okay, the integrations that we do as inventory. Now these are again APIs that we have developed, not limited to. So we don't expect operators to make any change on their side. Telcovas does entire API management. irrespective of any vendor. We have a list of vendors which we have worked, which are all the tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. However, any change, we take it on and we change it on our side. So, you don't have the load of getting, the solution, say, cost X. But when you go and take the CR for a HLR query, it is X plus Y. So we don't want to create that particular gap. So integrations covers entire your HLR, CRM, IN, SMSE, digital SDK for notifications to subscriber. Again, if you don't want to burn out SMS as a channel, because again, all terminating SMS or generated are something which you are being charged, right? So you can also use the digital channels. And again, the roaming signaling, which is the input source for us to start this conversation, right? Some of the high-level features and notifications. So you cover everything from VIP tracking. The roamer particularly gets issue-related information, roaming service, profile-related issues, voice, SMS, data. You also can use this for surveys, right? After a customer has traveled, you have resolved that issue through ARA. You can also push in something for the NPS. Customer care gets their own portal for VIP tracking, all the issue related, blacklist, whitelist management. In case you have customers who are in a D&D kind of situation, they even don't want you to send a message when they are traveling, so that can be configured. Account managers, again, they get access to everything. Operations team basically is the happiest over here, where they run all this diagnostic by the system. What they do is, we don't call it as artificial intelligence. Frankly, it is more of a assisted intelligence, right? Even for the matter, when we speak about chat GPT, what we understand, it's more of assisted intelligence. You have to question the platform for them to answer, right? So that is how ARA has been structured. Fast forward strategy and plan. So currently ARA is available. We are running this across two major operations. One is handling almost 1.1 million customers inbound and 1.1 million customers outbound and 2.3 million customers inbound on daily basis. And we are targeting as per the contact policy. So it's not like shelling out messages in millions on daily basis. It's just at what time, at what channel it is being required. So this is enabled by bots with analytics. Machine learning, again, is a separate line item, which is services based. And we use all technologies that are available in the market. And of course, this supports omni-channel in case you have a beautiful communication hub where we can directly connect and we just define like, okay, this goes on SMS, this goes on app. Okay. Starting 2023 Q4, now this is, like I explained, right? We run operations not only for roaming, but also for the local market. And in that sense is where this will be used for BSS issues, common local local, you can say, pack subscription issues, common service-related issues, not only for mobility, but also for fixed line, like, FTTH problems from a single SIM, people are paying bills, and to get all this information. And plus 1 year, again, we want to target this to move into the B2C space. We are already having conversations with enterprises who are looking for such solutions where, their processes are transparently provided to the end customer, and they want to give a feel that they are not hiding anything, and it's something where the experience increases. Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Punit. Lions, first question.
Thank you for the presentation. How are you going to detect network coverage issues if you are integrated with the home network operator?
So in terms of a network coverage issues is where, so let's take this situation, right? A network coverage issue from a visited site, right? Roaming is again a 50-50 approach. You have only 50% control of your outbound going somewhere, right? The other 50% should be taken care by the roaming partner. That is your expectation. So if this is an outbound issue, right, there's a network coverage issue over there. And what you have learned through experience is, if the customer faces an issue, for example, you are holding off customers, so your preferred network doesn't have any coverage on the airport. What you have is either a non-preferred network or forbidden network, or say consider your percentage based, 20%, 30% SRDC based logic which you have applied. In that sense, if there is a customer who has been hold off for 5 minutes, right? You set your timers, you're not allowing him to latch on. That is where ARA starts to communicate. Now, this is on the channel of experience where we will solve that problem. The second learning which we extract to you is like this is a report country wise where you have your steering settings XYZ, and this is where the customers are trying to latch on. So what we suspect is operator A over here is not having proper coverage, and you can then raise it through all the statistics. You can take all your MZs, MSIs, DNs, how many time you have hold on to the subscriber, and what issues the subscriber might be facing. So that is the best chance where with no coverage, which you get the intelligence to raise it to your roaming partner.
The customer could switch to Wi-Fi, and then if the information we get that there is a network coverage issue, while there is basically a different reason for that, for the...
Okay, so see, I explained to the first part of problem. If the customer connects to a Wi-Fi, what we do very common, or forget about us, we might have our roaming packs active and we use roaming, right? We get better rates than rest of the world. A person who lands onto an airport, first is he tries in the flight, he tries to search on network. Whatever he gets connected, he gets connected. If not, he'll go to the airport, he'll connect to Wi-Fi. So in case you have an issue related to coverage, you don't have anything over there, and you still wish to communicate, and the person has installed a self-care app. So that is the channel we use to notify him, saying, you can configure any messages you like, right? Why to push over a self-care app? Because SDK doesn't cost you anything. Anything related to channels like SMS, or any other channels, they cost you, right? Even WhatsApp cost you if you are trying to deliver a message per subscriber on daily basis or targeting that. So the SDK is where we share this notification. Okay. In one of our customers, key customers, they are now, they have a chatbot on the SDK itself, but that is configured for very common issues. They have preset of questions and answers which are set, and the customers can write it. They want us to integrate the ARA's feedback onto the chatbot. So, the customer can then chat saying, I'm facing issue with this network. So the platform tries to send them some message to solve that particular no coverage issue.
Next question, Anali. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I must admit, it feels a bit overwhelming, this whole solution. It's quite, feels comprehensive. But is it focusing, just so I understand it correctly, it's focusing more on the individual roamers rather than a generic understanding for the network operations teams, or is it, how does that work?
Okay, so this focuses on one-to-one customer troubleshooting, right? Currently, any telcos or whatever you're part of, right? You focus mostly on say top 20, top 50 in terms of the roamers, and you have separate, I would say, list of subscribers which are VIPs, and you know whom you have to give the service related criteria. Now, one-to-one roamer is something which you have in the system, right? We are not generating this data. This data already exists, but there is no way someone can translate this data into a meaningful insight, right? ARA again was developed for one-to-one issue, roaming issue, and how it was again, the idea was we had 50 plus resources that were running roaming operations. Now, since COVID hit, the budget of operators for roaming, MS, everything shrank to 1/3. Okay, so on our side, the resourcing also, it was not required, right? They didn't expect 50 people to solve this problem. And then we started to use or automate this function where, we need less people, but we try to give the same service that we were giving to them with using 50 people. So everything you want to see or you want to create a use case is one-to-one subscriber. Network operations is just the end who will see all this, more of a assisted data, and then they know what to act on, right? So they don't spend their time in critical troubleshooting of, say, first track a VIP, trace him down, oh, he had a map failure. then check the global trend in that country, what is happening through the QoS tool. Oh yeah, everyone was facing this since 20 days. Then go to DCH, ask how many data subscribers or VoLTE were there. He'll say nothing from last 20 days. So collectively, it's a reactive approach. What we are showing is you can make it more proactive, okay, more interactive also. Try to give information to your subscribers, like this is the action you have to take in case you are facing this problem. It cannot be everything as overwhelming as we have shown. It can be simple 2-3 things what you would like to communicate to them. It can be common pack issues, it can be common latch on issues, it can be common issues like device change, right? Someone changes a device in roaming, it goes from a Android to a iOS all of a sudden. How to change the network settings. Send a message, give a link. The link explains everything, like this is how you are supposed to go to settings, you change your VoLTE roaming, enable it, save the changes, and it works.
Thank you. How do you buy this service from you?
So again, this is something more of, we can do a SaaS kind of model in terms of how to, how to fine tune it. Again, we can look at use cases, what you want to implement. And see, it's still a learning curve for us. This we are doing from past 2.5 years now, but still there are everyday challenges which were unseen or, which have popped now with VoLTE roaming, widely used, moving out 2G, 3G from the entire landscape. So this is something which we can discuss. Most of our solutions currently work in OpEx model. We have moved on from the CapEx investment, setup investment. We don't look at all of this. We look at OpEx strategy, that it fits operators' budget, and particularly since you will be also into a exploring stage, right? We will give you the entire inventory of use cases that we can do. You'll pick and select, and then you can fine tune as per your particular networks.
Okay. Can you integrate with the trouble ticketing system in the operator, so if in case there is a problem and it's not solved, so you can maybe open the trouble ticket automatically or not?
Yes. So currently we have tested with ServiceNow and Jira. These are they share APIs because of TM Forum and other places where they want other systems to integrate. So this is something which is doable. We can also set the priorities for the ticket once initiated and assign it to either the operations, accounts, customer care, or particular stakeholders.
Can you also integrate with the steering platform? Because a lot of issues for LU problems, maybe it's due to the steering rules. So we reach, for example, the percentage with your top operator. That's why the steering is rejecting the location update. So can you integrate with the steering platform so you can maybe recommend some changes to solve the issue?
Of course. So we can integrate with any downstream as required. But now when it comes to steering, steering is again governed by two set of people, right? You have your commercial team who handles, like, even though there is a coverage issue, it is intermittent, let's keep it for now. We have not reached the commitment for a specific period, we don't want to change it. Then there is your cab and your technical that follows another thing. Any steering platform right now, what we have seen, we manage quite a few. In terms of day-to-day operations, they don't allow any access for an external API to come and change any, a particular bit of it. What we can do is we can generate emails. We can generate emails saying this is your steering setting. This is how the customers are being, pushed at. Your steering platform, frankly, also gives you these details, right? What is the percentage set and what is the achieved market share? For example, right? It gives you that details. You have set it to 20%, but still 43% are going to a non-preferred. So it is trying to give you the same information that we are bringing it from the network side.
My last question, what kind of reports and dashboards can the system offer for me? Because this was not clear in the presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. So see, frankly, since past 2 years, we have stopped working on reports and dashboards. Okay. Reason being, what we try to do is we create a reporting DB, we create the KPIs, and we give the header level information to our operator, because every operator now is having a specific team that uses a Tableau or a Power BI, and particularly they want to customize reports. Okay. In roaming, frankly, report business takes a lot of time than developing a solution, right? Because every now and then revenue assurance will ask you from the same data a separate report. So in that sense, we are flexible. We supply services on that. If you want our resources, we can supply that. You can explain what kind of reports you are looking at, drag and drop reports, you want them on Power BI or anything. So we do that. On the secondary, if you just want data, you say, I have my own data lake, I'd like to customize my own report, just dump the data in this particular location at a set frequency, and we do that. So that's why we have not included anything on reports, because that is a standard we are following right now. Like, let the operator decide what kind of data they want to see.
Okay, any final question from the Lions?
No question. I've been using too much time.
Okay, any audience question? One?
Hello. Okay, can you hear me? Yes. Thank you for your presentation. My question is, what will be the challenges of having a solution that allows me preemptively, before I travel to a place, to insert some information about my destination, so that the application predicts what kind of issues I might face, and preemptively give me the chance to learn how to solve them, instead of waiting for some Wi-Fi to give me a solution? What will be the challenges of this approach?
Currently, if you consider, right, entire telecom industry works on an event base, right? The event is generated or it has already occurred, and that is where all your solutions start. There is nothing preemptive in terms of doing that. Of course, you can use this solution associated with the test sims, for example, which continuously performs all the worldwide test, top 20, top 50, and everything. And that over there, you can predict like, okay, so this is the volume of traffic which you had, and this is how the impact is right now. And from day one, if you use this solution, we try to extract the first report or the first data it gives is, guys, these are the countries, these are the networks, these are the issues, and this is what the failure count of every subscriber looks like right now. Okay. What you are asking is someone querying, right? In terms of input. On a customer level, no one will, give you that information. Secondary, if my solution will give like these are the issues you might face, the purpose of the solution is to solve it first. I'm not here to report saying like you might face a latch-on issue, you might face a voice issue or something like that. You can set rules in the solution, and again, all solutions in telco are event-based, right? Unless an event is not occurred, you are not supposed to predict something. In terms of, say, a link failure or a network analytics, that is more simpler, right? Because you are managing traffic, and then you can give a predictive analytics. But customer behavior, I'll say I'm going to Singapore, I might go to Malaysia, right? So that is something which you can't predict.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.